guys have been asking, what's the Tacoma like in the snow? Well, where I live, we don't get much snow. But today is going to be a different kind of day. Welcome back to the TorqueWorks YouTube channel. I really appreciate all of you guys joining me today. Those of you that haven't already or are just new to the channel, welcome. And if you would, just go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you can see all my future and upcoming videos as I post them and you don't miss any of this content as we continue to grow this channel. I really appreciate all you guys. And today, this is just going to be kind of a fun thing. Didn't plan this one at all. It snowed where I'm at, which it hardly ever does. And we're actually going to be able to test this truck out in the snow with the stock tires, the stock suspension. Everything is stock on this truck. The only thing that I have done is I went and filled up the tank with gas last night, and which is not uncommon, and I aired down the tires just slightly. Now, I am in a garage. That would be the only difference than someone that was having to leave their truck outside. So just giving you all the variables there. But anyway, let's go play around in the snow and see how this thing goes. I appreciate all you guys, so let's get to it. All right, let's get going. Guess I should buckle up. Safety first, guys, as I always say. Not that I really need to, I'm just pulling out of the garage. And it's engaged and we're gonna go. Tight squeeze, these garages aren't really all that big. And here we go, right into it. Nice. And it's really coming down still. Now we got a mix. We got sleet, snow, and everything else. I think right now it's not a big deal. Nothing that I haven't seen before. It's only like 6 inches or so in some areas. Most areas around the house itself is only like 3 or 4. But it's been coming down all morning, hasn't stopped. So should be fine. I'm just gonna go around neighborhood, normal city streets, just like you guys all over would normally see in the snow. I'll do some stops and maybe skid out and show you the tires a little bit, and we'll just play around. So let's get with it down the road, guys, and we'll see what we got. So we start. This is a new view. I'm using Filmic Pro. They do not sponsor this or anything, but I'm doing the take 2 where it shows both camera angles here, and we got kids sledding down the hill. So give me a minute so I can get them all out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and actually put this, I'm going to put it in neutral and go ahead and shift this into 4-wheel low, just so we get all the traction control and pre-collision stuff off. I have a feeling with this kind of sleet and freezing rain I have right now, it's actually probably going to cake up that front sensor, and we're going to get lots of notifications and beeping. So I'm just going to turn that off now, so hopefully we can avoid that. So now that these kids are getting out of the way, let me get moving and see what we got. I don't have any weight or anything in the bed of this, so I'm not really sure how it's going to handle. The last thing that I drove in any kind of snow conditions like this was the Raptor and my Tundra, which is much heavier than this. And they did just fine. Of course, with a truck, you know, you've got that rear end is a lot lighter because there's nothing in it unless you put something in it. So you got to think about that. In any conditions like this, even wet conditions, you know, I've not had any problem with sliding and fishtailing and things like that, but it definitely can be troublesome if you're not used to driving in any conditions like that. Now, something I wish this one was equipped with that mine is not is the windshield wiper kind of de-icer or warmer or whatever you want to call it. The 4Runner does have that equipped on most models, if not all, I believe. The Raptor, my Raptor has it. This does not, and I kind of wish it did. Now, I don't have very cold conditions really ever, unless I'm traveling like I am now, so it's really not that big of a deal. But it would be nice in this case. The tires are performing just fine. As you can see, not many people have driven on this, so I don't know that it's really a fair test. I'll pull in here with some heavier snow here. Oh yeah, the whole entire curb is covered on that side, so it's pretty heavy. And I'm gonna actually shift out of 4-wheel low, because not all of you are gonna be riding in 4-wheel low. This is not anything heavy. We're not off-road, nothing like that. So we got some people over here. Sorry about that, my filming. You never know when you're doing this in real life. It's not in a studio, so I've got to watch out for pedestrians and people galore. Lots of cool videos. I should produce maybe a blooper reel of all the people I've had ask me questions and come up for just a chit chat while I'm filming, and they know I'm filming, and it's funny, let me tell you. All right, so I'm just in normal 4-wheel high and 4H for those of you that really just are learning. The locker that I have, the electronic rear locking differential, it is not on, no crawl control. It's just normal driving. And this will keep the RPMs lower too. I can show you guys just in normal driving how things would be. So I'm going to go down the hill here, and then I'm going to come back up, because this is actually a very steep hill. And this has all of your systems turned on now that I'm back in 4-wheel high. Well, sorry about that, guys. I was getting around all the people playing. Well, I don't blame them. It's fun. My kids are actually out playing too. Anyway, so I have it in 4-wheel high, which turns back on all of your traction controls and all of those things that the truck computer is going to work out for you. It's not really preferred in slippery situations like this because you can actually be hindered with that. Going up a hill, you have one or more wheels start to slip, and the truck thinks it's in a different kind of situation. It wants to keep you straight and stable, so it actually cuts power. That's not always what you want to happen when you're trying to get up a snowy hill. It'll actually cut the power, and you'll get stuck on your own. The truck kind of hinders you a little bit, so that's why it's best to turn all those off or put it into 4-wheel low so it turns it off for you. So we got up that hill, no problem. It didn't even slip, not even as I turned. Obviously, when you being in 4-wheel drive, it may bind just a little bit in sharp turns, but it was slippery enough to not bind, and we made it up the hill no problem. And I think I was doing about 10 to 15 miles an hour up the hill, so I didn't really get a running start or anything. Now, these are the same tires that come on the TRD Pro Tacoma stock, and they actually perform very well. They're not very aggressive, so your first judgment would be, oh, they're not going to perform very well, but they actually really do. So I'm going to get out on the open road here a little bit so I can get a little bit more speed. And see how it is. Of course, I'm not going to go fast because that's just silly. There are people around, and I don't want to injure anyone or mess up any property. Doing very well. It feels confident, like it has enough weight. I haven't slid around yet, at least. Everything seems really good. Of course, I'm driving like someone should drive in weather conditions like this. I'm not trying to act a fool, you know what I mean? But so far, so good. Now this portion of it, you can see, has been driven quite a bit more, and this is more packed down. And with the wintry mix that is going on now, that is more freezing rain and sleet, this is quite a bit more slick, and I can feel it, but it still feels fun. The tires have good traction. I guess it really helps that they were kind of warm in the garage. I've aired down a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, you know, between 5 and 8 psi lower than what it comes stock, just to kind of help a little bit. I would suggest, if you want to drive in this a lot, maybe air down just a little bit more. Just like it would off-road, it does help you a little bit. It gives you a wider footprint with the tires contacting the road, or what little bit of road you got here. I have not felt that this truck has lost traction, has slid to the side, or anything. It is exactly where I'm pointing the wheel. It's going. I'm using very minimal throttle, kind of letting the torque of the powertrain itself do most of the work, and it's doing just fine. Speed limit in this area is around 45 miles per hour. Most of the areas I've been doing around 30, 35, which you should slow down in these kind of conditions. It's doing just fine. So I'm gonna actually slow down quicker here. There's no cars now, nothing. It didn't even slide, and this has drum brakes on the back. So I suspected that it would actually catch a little bit more in the back end since it's light. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to my next destination here. I'm gonna shut this off for now and pick up when I get there. I'll set up a camera, get some outside shots, kind of let you see this work of the four-wheel drive system. You know, maybe a quick takeoff, a quick braking, some things like that, to kind of let you be the judge of the tires and what it's doing. You've already seen how it drives inside. I mean, this is normal driving, really. The only thing I'm doing is slowing down and driving a little more cautious. And, well, you already see the difference in the conditions outside. So it's doing great. I mean, this honestly drives and works very similar to the 4Runner. I feel very confident driving in this. It's doing exactly what it's made for. All right, 40 miles an hour. Boom. And that's what we did. So it did. It skidded just a little bit, but I flat out pushed that pedal all the way to the floor. I don't think it was that bad. I didn't even get sideways. All right, now we are in 4-wheel high. No locker, nothing turned on. No locker turned on, and no traction control turned off. So I'm just gonna take off now, full throttle, in the snow. We'll see what this thing's able to do, or how it shuts down power. So here we go. So it spun just a little bit, but it actually had more traction than I thought it would. I'm pretty surprised about it. Like, I definitely expected it to slip, but nothing on the dash even notified me that I was slipping. It did really, really well. Sorry, I'm just really surprised about it. So I'm actually putting it in reverse, up a small incline there. Fine, too, it's not slipping. I'll do that again. I mean, just a tiny bit of slippage. It just kind of weaves just a tiny bit, and it's just straight. Now this thing doesn't have any amazing torque and power figures, as you guys have seen on my previous video, but I mean it gets up and goes when it needs to. It does exactly what it's supposed to, and it does it reliably. I like it. I really dig it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put it in 4-wheel low and do a takeoff. It's going to turn off all those systems. We'll see if this has any better traction. Let's check it out. All right, now we are in 4-wheel low. Get them in position, and we're going to take off in 4-wheel low. Traction off, traction control off, pre-collision, everything off. Okay, and locking rear diff is off. So let's go. So the rear end actually got away just a tiny bit, and it straightened itself right out, no problem. No problem at all. No problem at all. That did really well. Okay, so I've spun around real quick. Still don't see anybody coming this time. And we're gonna do another hard braking at 40 in the snow. Both hands on the wheel. Should be fine. Just like if you were in traffic and needed to slow down. Boom. There we go. Not even 100 feet, I don't think, from where I first applied. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, it's going to slide. You're in snow and ice. But I think it did really well. Now it's time to just play around. Showing you guys what just normal driving would be like in this. I'm going to show you what people normally would never do in this. No, I'm just kidding. Most of you guys will do this, for sure. Who out there, raise a comment in the comment section, has a Tacoma, a 4Runner, a Tundra, F-150, Chevy, whatever you got, and it just waits and prays for some of this white stuff to fall out of the sky so you can go and just ride around. What do you guys do? I know my first 4-wheel drive vehicle I ever had was a Jeep Cherokee 2-door. I modified it a little bit. I put my own lift on it, Rubicon Express, some Rubicon, Wrangler Rubicon wheels on it because that was the thing. And I would love to go out in this and try to take my recovery straps and help people out and do stuff like that. How many of you guys do that? Now I'm a lot older. I don't really care too much about doing it. I will, obviously, if someone needs help, but I just like to go play in it. Because it's fun. This is the TRD Pro, bro. This is the TRD Pro, bro. Now we can play around. Hey, look, a car. Traction control was actually hurting me a little bit. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, all the goodness. Leave me the comments. I hope you guys really like this one. I had a lot of fun. I know I was just kind of showing off a little bit and showing you guys about the tires and things like that. Kind of boring, but we ended on a great note, didn't we? It was awesome. Hope you guys stay safe out there. Really appreciate you, like I said. And until next time, y'all take care.